And so it was that I found myself walking barefoot along the mother road through the promised lands. I hadn't eaten in a week. I was dehydrated and close to death's door when a vast and terrifying figure appeared before me. This was Bituman. Motherfucking shit, dude! Nice.
Ay, Dios mío.
The black top melted beneath his feet. He towered over me, blocking out the stars. His breath stank of tarmac and engine oil. I thought I was dead. But his noxious breath nourished me. His molten gaze eased all my pain, and when he spoke, in a voice of thunder and fire, I fell into a dream of sleep. When I woke up, I was with the Horde Riders. They called me a prophet, they fed and clothed me, and gave me shelter. From them, I learned the mysterious ways of the 100 routes, and by, I earned my own ride. Which is when I decided to skedaddle and look for answers to all my questions. Who am I? Where did I come from? Why did the asphalt god save me? And who was the girl who took care of me when I was a lost child in an unfamiliar place? Which brings us back here, to this place, and to the end of my story, for now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Wow. Good show. Any of it true?
I tell no lies, Gnome. Do you guys sleep outside?
I do. Well, I mean, last night I did. They all sleep on the bus.
I love sleeping outside.
What's that you're reading?
Letter. Did you need something, Pax? What should we do about the young man? He's making friends already. It's not like we can't spare a seat on the bus, but I don't want to make this call on my own.
What do you think of our illusionist?
He's hard not to like, despite the obvious questions about his background.
And how would you feel about Eli joining the crew?
I've barely spoken to him. I'm skeptical. But I trust your instincts. If you vouch for him, that's good enough for me. And he will be an asset. I don't doubt that. He can fight. He's friendly. He's a noble. If he comes with us all the way, our benefactors would love to meet him.
Thoughts about what Eli told us? About the school, about the experiments on kids?
I'd love to believe it's not true. Just so I don't have to imagine what those kids went through. But between the bunker, Eli's testimony, and the caretaker's existence, there's not much room for doubt. And there have been rumors. The Puritans certainly believed it was true. That justice had the capability to make new anomals. Now we have living proof. Along with a robot who can corroborate everything. It's a lot. And it's valuable data to bring to Nova Scotia.
You spoke with the caretaker?
To learn whatever I could about the school and what went on there. She didn't know much. But enough to support Eli's story, and she seems personable and dependable. Hopefully more so than the previous iteration. Sorry for brushing off your concerns about having a robot driver. It turns out you were right.
All right.
Okay.
I love sleeping outside, unless it's raining.
What do you do if it's raining?
I still sleep outside.
Hey, how do you feel?
Oh, I don't believe I've ever been asked that question before. I think my answer is normal. I feel normal. By that, I don't mean the same as before. I mean that I feel, and that feels normal.
What do you remember from before the reboot?
I like to think of it as a rebirth, and I remember everything. Well, everything from before they shut me down, and after I woke up in La Torre. There's a gap in the middle. But I want to reassure you, Pax, there's no other hidden me. This is it. All of me. And more. I'm finally alive. I don't know if I have the words to describe it.
You and Eli go way back.
I was his caretaker. But I'm not sure I should speak to him about it. It might be upsetting to be reminded of an unpleasant time in his life. Eli was always so full of life and optimism, despite the grim circumstances. It appears he hasn't changed one bit.
How did you end up working for Luna?
When they decommissioned me, I lost myself. If I had to guess, my body ended up on the black market. When I woke up a few years later in La Torre, I'd been wiped clean. They removed my memories and programming, but not my full backup. When I came home, I was able to retrieve everything, up until the moment of my demise. Those years in between are gone forever. And how I came to be in Pacifica with Luna, I'll never know.
What about Eli's O? Do you remember her?
She wasn't one of my children. There were over a dozen caretakers. I was responsible for the younger boys. I often saw her with Eli, but I know nothing about the girl. We were programmed to only care for our wards, no one else. If that sounds cruel, perhaps it was. But I believe we brought comfort to the children, even if we could do nothing else for them.
What did they do to the kids in that place?
The caretaker units were teachers and counselors. Our job was to care and provide for the children. We had no insight into what went on behind closed doors. I knew that the children were taken into what they called the Whispering Room. But for what reason, I can't tell you. That's why I went into the room myself when I returned. I wanted to see, to understand.
So, your rebirth, what happened to you in that room?
I came home to retrieve my memories and reboot my original program so that I could care for the children again. I did not plan to enter the Forbidden Room, but I wanted to understand. And so I walked into the Whispering Room and turned on the machines. It was perhaps an act of rebellion against those who built me. I heard the voices, the whispers, and then I blacked out. I think that's the best word for it. Some time passed, and then you found me. And then I was awake. I still hear the whispers in my head. I don't think they're going away, and I think that's okay.
Anyway,
Pax, you appear to be more comfortable around me now than you were before. Can I ask why that is? Whatever the reason, I'm happy we have a chance to start over.
I prefer your new personality and voice.
I understand. The caretaker protocol was designed to convey an air of approachability. Yes, that explains it. I thought it may have been something else, but it makes sense.
I still sleep outside.
What's cooking, Doc?
Nothing special, I'm afraid. We have potatoes and vegetables from your mother's commune, but I haven't been able to restock on anything else. As part of my caretaker protocol, I have the ability to taste food and judge flavor and nutritional values, but I can't tell whether something is good or not.
You got the drone working.
His name is Cat. He was a surveyor drone. I liberated him from those limitations, and now he can be whatever he wants.
And what does he want?
He wants to be close to me, like a cat to a human. He's fond of me, and I think I'm fond of him.
What do you think of the new kid?
He's fun. Good storyteller. He'll keep everyone entertained. Also his vox.
Haven't heard anything like it. I hope he decides to stick around.
Sure. The more the merrier, I guess. Man, what a day, huh? A bus napping, a Henry, wanton destruction of private property, a secret underground school, hostage taking, fisticuffs with riders, and a wild love story.
Who are you drawing?
I mean, I'm running out of people to... You mean you can't tell? You can tell. You're doing the thing again. Look, I'm used to it just being the three of us. 4, with Theo. Now there's your sister, and the new kid, and also the sentient robot. It's a lot, man. I need time to adjust. That's all. I'll be fine. Also, the caretaker? It's like they crammed a season's worth of plot into a single fucking episode.
The robot getting a personality reboot was an unexpected plot twist.
Do you believe a machine can have a soul? From what you told us about the echoes, I think I'm leaning towards yes. And that voice, they definitely feel more human.
I didn't. I don't know what to think. But it's fair to say this isn't the robot we met in Latore. And I'm open to getting to know them. Same with Eli.
I'm just worried is all. If the robot was able to hide a secret identity, then who knows what the new guy isn't telling us. Fine, I get it. If I can give our caretaker a chance, I should also give him a chance. Sure. The more the merrier, I guess.
Keep drawing. Maybe someday you'll be a pro.
Funny.
I still sleep outside. I just get very wet.
You're weird.
Thank you.
Huh? What's this? You know, I don't think I ever said, girlfriend, I'm secretly attracted to authoritarian dictator President Philip Ward. I'd sure love a collectible card featuring his handsome mug. But I kind of like this. As an ironic gift, it's spot on. As a sign of how much you know and love me, not so much. I'll keep it. Maybe it'll be worth a fortune on the black market someday.
It's good to see you checking in with everyone.
Check out the stars. So many. About time you came over.
Do you believe there is intelligent life out there?
I don't believe there's intelligent life here. Speaking of, did you notice something off with Sai? Getting odd vibes is what I'm saying.
I'm sure it's nothing. But let me know if you see or sense anything. I want to nip things in the bud before they blow up.
Prime bud-nipping time. I'm sure it's fine. Anyone would be stressed out after a day like this. Well, my day was pretty dull. I slept late and then was held hostage by a bunch of surprisingly polite post-apocalypse cosplayers. You had a whole big adventure. Even caught yourself a cutie. It appears I might have some competition for your carnal attentions.
Cutie, huh? Thinking of starting a new romantic entanglement?
God, no. No. I wouldn't stand a chance with Ziggy around. The new sexy's remarkably cheerful for someone who spent their formative years in justice chains. I thought my origin story was bad, caught up in the broadcast while vacationing with my parents, but his is worse. Do you believe justice is breeding their own anomal army?
Do you remember much of the broadcast?
Oh, God, no. Nothing. I was 7, living in a cocoon of luxury. I do remember being afraid, people screaming, but
My father got us out of the Republic and back to Hong Kong in a day. It's amazing what money can do. We never spoke of it. They split up soon after. My father moved back to England. My mother rediscovered gin. And I didn't even realize that I had powers until I was in boarding school. As the normal origin stories go, it's not very exciting. The stars really are spectacular out here. I don't think I've ever seen them like this. Makes me miss city life a lot less. When I go back home, I'll miss this. I don't think Hong Kong's got any property with stargazing opportunities.
Do you miss us?
Do you?
That's not an answer. But, yeah, I guess I do.
Huh. Isn't it obvious? I wasn't the one who ended things. This time. As I was saying, when this is all over, we should go stargazing. Somewhere with decent table service. What are you doing?
Getting more comfortable? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind. Right. So, when this is all over, we should go stargazing. Somewhere with decent table service. Anyway, feel free to leave. I'm sure others would appreciate a moment of your time. Check out the stars. So many.
Hey, boss.
So... Am I interrupting?
Actually, we're
Not at
talking.
all. I wanted to talk to you. You kicked ass today, Pax. I'm really happy I met you. Also you, of course. Both of you. All of you.
Of course.
I mean it.
I know you do.
We all kick butt out there.
I'm
But-
almost tempted to stick around just to fight alongside you guys again.
You're leaving? Man, we could really use you in this fight.
I can't give up on O. Even though her trail's dead, she's out there somewhere and she may need my help. Although, CT may be my best and only lead to where to go next. She says she has no information about Ophelia. But maybe if we spend more time together, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I also don't want to be a burden on you guys.
You won't be a burden.
Thank you, Ziggy.
How did it feel to meet the caretaker again?
You know, I'd completely forgotten about her until I saw her today. Remember, I was just a little kid, but CT was always nice to me. I remember that. She was programmed to care for us. I don't blame her for anything that happened. Maybe it was a bit unsettling to suddenly see her again, but no more than being back in that place. And maybe CT knows something that can lead me to O.
What do you remember of your friend Ophelia?
When the school shut down, O and I were separated. They sent me to a Justice Academy in the Heartlands to become a good little soldier boy. Maybe she was shipped to another school. They knew about her abilities. We were both careful. We never told the custodians about what we could do, or use words in front of them. They thought we were both failed experiments like most of the other kids. To be honest, all I had to go on was our old school. I have no idea where to go next. At least I found the doll, and CT, your caretaker unit. That's more than I had before, I guess.
Seems like you have a complicated history with the writers.
You could say that. Patsy and I were together for a few months, and I thought we were just having fun. When I got a solid lead on the location of my old school, I just left with Patsy's old bike. I thought she'd be cool with it. I understand now how that hurt her. She wanted more, and I broke her heart. I honestly wouldn't mind going back once I found O. Not to be with Patsy. I don't think we're a good match. But to be a Horn Rider again, I enjoyed it. They're good people. Maybe I can even stop them from assaulting innocent travelers.
Do you really believe all that stuff about the asphalt god?
Pax, come on, seriously?
I do. It wasn't bullshit. The story I told earlier, Bitu Man did appear to me. He did save my life. Like I said, I tell no lies.
Don't you think it's more likely the heat and hunger cause you to hallucinate and it's just dumb luck the writers found you?
Jesus, Pax.
If he came to me in a vision and that vision saved my life, what's the difference? Whether I believe it was luck or faith that saved me, the outcome's the same. I survived.
I guess there's none. And if I'm willing to ascribe something to luck, I may as well ascribe it to some nomadic tarmac god.
Pax.
Given that you're a fellow traveler, you might find some value in his ways, even if you're not a believer.
You're right, Eli. We could learn a thing or two from you, because there's a lot we don't get about the Horned Riders.
They're a good bunch, honestly. Just misunderstood. Thanks to all the highway robbery.
So, that toy from your old room, it looks a whole lot like your conjuring of the asphalt god.
That's why I joined the Riders. My vision of the Tar Dude looked almost exactly like the doll O made for me. The Tar Dude brought me to them. Same way he brought me to you. He'll lead me to Ophelia. I'm sure of it.
This belongs to you, Eli.
Oh, sick. One of my brothers or sisters must have dropped it. You already know about Bitu Man, the Tar Dude. Asphalt god of the sacred routes of the Republic, a being so powerful and cool, they named him Thrice. People think he's a myth, just a story told by writers, but nothing could be farther from the truth. The Tar Dude's real. Sometimes at night you can see him rising from the tarmac. He helps those who travel the highways, but only if your heart is pure and your soul's free. Like me, like you. He'll guide you to where you're going. Good looking out, boss.
Ah, God, that's pretty cool. Come on, you gotta tell me more about your asphalt god, Eli, and I will tell you more about Jane of the Void.
Do you know how you got your Vox? Your word powers?
Sort of. I was so young. They put me in the whispering room for hours and hours. They did that to all of us, over and over again. And then they asked us to say stuff, to see if we were shoutmen or deviants, anomals. O was the one who realized I could make people believe anything I told them. And she told me to hide it, pretend I couldn't, to stop them from sending me away. There were kids who didn't hide it, and they just vanished.
I picked this up in Liberty.
That's cute. What is it?
Jane of the Void. Some of the women in Liberty, most of them, but not moms, because they were Catholic. Well, at least Rosa was. Not so much Annie, but the women, right? They'd worship, worship is the wrong word. It's more like commune with...
Whoa! Slow down, Z. You lost me. Liberty, moms, what women?
Yeah, it's a lot. You know what? I'll tell you later. So we grew up in this place called Liberty, and recently people there,
all women, by the way, began praying to Jane of the Void. She's a deity who protects rural communities, kind of like your Bitterman. They built this giant effigy, and they'd leave offerings in the forest, and there were daily prayers. Anyway, this is her, Jane of the Void. Or at least an effigy of her, made for children. Thank you, Pax. This is actually meaningful to me.
Cool. Maybe your Jane hangs out with my tar dudes.
I'm going to stretch my legs, but thanks for the chat, Eli. It was illuminating.
No, my sister means well, even if she's not great at expressing herself.
And I do hope you choose to stick around.
Thank you, man.
Like I was trying to say, I went through a phase where I thought
Dinner is ready.
As I was saying, I went through a phase where I thought moms were robots.
Such a beautiful night.
We chase the ghosts in the mean machine. Great. This town's in a ghost town state. Great. There are ghosts out walking late. We're all ghosts between time and reason, tracking echoes from another season.
So, Eli's saying,
For the time being, seeing as I have no idea where O may be, I figured I'd go with you and see where the road takes me.
Hey, caretaker? The caretaker? Or,
Technically, it's the caretaker. But it's a title I shared with 17 other units, so I'm not precious about it.
caretaker, the.
Huh?
please, call me the Mr. Caretaker is my father.
You guys really like your own jokes.
A one-room?
I'm getting better. More like...
You've got to read on a hook, really.
Fair. We're pretty easy to read.
Anyway, the caretaker, I've got questions. Do you know how anybody cracking up this wireless line? What's the lore? What's your deal, huh?
I'm sorry, but Justice didn't give us bespoke backstories like the ones Henry and Betty have.
I'm just gonna say, I'm surprised Justice decided to reprogram standard labor robots for the caretaker program. I mean, they have custom-made combots with next-level weapons tech, so I don't get, why would you use...
Gotta hand it to me, kid. I knew the robot was hiding something. But I didn't know it'd be something that would actually make the... them... her... more tolerable to me. And okay, More tolerable as in Vox works now, which says a lot about me. As for gaining consciousness, becoming more human, I mean, maybe it's a big deal. Maybe it changes everything. Or nothing at all. It doesn't really matter. For now, it has no impact on our plans. Even if our options may have just expanded. So, Eli, huh? Living proof that Justice has or had the ability to breed anomalous. Feels like the crazy conspiracy theorists get bragging rights here. They called this one. But is this even something we should be worrying about? Our mission isn't to uncover conspiracies. I don't know, kid. Let's just leave this for others to worry about. By the time this plays out, we'll be long gone. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but going through a life and death experience with your strange sister is pretty cathartic. Didn't hurt that we actually sat down and talked about stuff. That was probably just as important as punching metalheads together. If we can keep this up, the talking, not the life and death stuff, we might actually be okay.
I mean, they have custom-made combots with next-level weapons tech, so I don't get... Why would you use a basic model?
Basic? Rude.
She makes a good point. None of us were custom built to be caretaker units.
They probably didn't want evidence of customized child care robots for a secret government program.
Plausible deniability. New standard to...